What is going on, you guys? Today I'm bringing you a video on, in my opinion, what the best hunting hybrid 3D arrow is for the money. And this is just my opinion. I'm going to bring you guys a quick video. You're going to learn exactly what I run for a Western big game hunter, what I prefer to shoot, and I'll show you a couple different variations and options. So hopefully you guys get some value out of this video. Hit that like and subscribe button, as you know you should. If you want to follow along for all my hunts, gear updates, and more, then this is the channel and the place to be. I'm glad to have you here, and I hope to continuously bring you guys better and better content because I am new to this. All right, so let's get this thing started. I have 3 arrows in front of me. The first being a Rip TKO Expert Series. These are all, this is a 5mm arrow. This arrow has a tack vane on the end, a 2.75. I also run the 2.25 tack vanes. They seem to fly really good, both the 3 and the 4 fletch with the left helical, and a standard outsert. Now this is a webbed carbon, and these arrows are really strong. So I've personally come to liking this arrow. It's kind of become my go-to arrow when I talk about just a really great all-around arrow that you can take hunting, you can take to tack, you can take to 3D shoots, and you just have a solid arrow. So that's my first arrow. My second arrow that I have here is a Easton Axis solid arrow. It's a pure carbon arrow. It's the 5mm. They also make the Easton Axis match grade, which I've shot those as well. I just personally haven't seen the big difference, compared to the price. I just don't see the difference. Why pay an extra 70 or 80 bucks per pack of 12 when I just don't see the performance difference that there is? So this is the second arrow in my lineup, and then the third and final arrow in my lineup is a Rip. It's a Victory Rip Extreme Velocity. So this is an Elite V1. This arrow is a super light arrow, and I wanted to bring this arrow to you guys particularly because this is my all-around best hybrid arrow. This arrow can be ran 2 ways. It can be run as a hunting arrow, and it can also be ran as a great long distance tack arrow or 3D shooting arrow. This arrow right now is a 300 spine arrow. It's got a 3 fletch tack vane on the back. It's got 75 grains in the front and 100 grain point, and I'm weighing in right at 394. So 394 grains, that is a light arrow. Now, some of you guys watching this are gonna go, well, that's way too light of an arrow to hunt with, and I just don't agree with you. Quite frankly, I've watched tons of tests, I've seen tons of studies that just because you have a heavier arrow, it does not mean that you're getting more penetration in an animal. You can go and watch ballistic gel tests. There is time and time again where people shock themselves shooting through ballistics gel that the lighter weight arrow actually traveled as far or further than the weighted arrow, and in the essence that the weighted arrow did go in and travel further, it was not by enough to make a difference. So you lose all that yardage by going too heavy, to where this arrow right here I would feel comfortable and confident to take out on any Western big game hunt. I would even hunt, other game that are outside of the North America. I just believe in this arrow. So this is my go-to hybrid arrow. I think that you can buy these. They're actually cheaper than both the other arrows. Actually, I take that back. They're not cheaper than both the other arrows. This arrow for a pack of 12 is $170. You can buy that shipped to your door, $170. I find that this is just a wicked arrow. Like I mentioned, if you want to get serious distance, this is the arrow that I'd encourage people to go to. It's pure carbon, just like your 5mm Easton Axis, pure carbon. This is a 5mm. This is a 4mm. So you have to run you have to run the smaller inserts. You could also run an outsert on this, which I do, and I am a believer in the outsert. Today, after a lot of testing and really a lot of poor shooting, sighting my bow and whatnot, doing different tests, I have found that outsert does definitely make a difference in the strength of this carbon arrow, especially right where your tip screws into the carbon. I find that these Easton Axis break really easy. You know, if you hit the dirt behind you, you hit a rock, you hit like nick something, it's easy for that to chip and break, especially, you know, without the outsert. And with the outsert on the Rip TKO, I find that this is like a bulletproof, indestructible arrow. I have yet to break this arrow besides shooting it at a brick or a piece of concrete on accident or launching it into a rock at like a 110-yard shot, like messing around with my buddies. That will definitely blow up any arrow. But the Rip TKO is probably my go-to hunting arrow. The Rip Velocity Extreme, this is my go-to hybrid arrow. If I don't have the adjustability on my sight housing to go from a sight tape, you know, for a heavy arrow to then change it easily with the sight tape on a lighter arrow, then I'm gonna go with the Rip Extreme Velocity. If I was running like a spot hog with a spot hog, like a spot hog it, or like any of the tape with the spinner on it, where I can have 5 pins fixed and then I could run it down like 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. With this particular arrow, shooting a 300 or shooting a SR 350 Bowtech, I can shoot this out confidently with the sight tape out to 130 yards. This arrow right here, to where this arrow weighs in, which is the Rip TKO. This arrow weighs in at 425 grains, and I'm getting 110 yards. So, you know, we get 20 extra yards with this arrow, and it does feel different. But I have more weight in the front. I'm running 75 grains and 100 grains, so I'm getting 275 grains in the front here. To whereas with this, I'm running no weight on the inside. I'm running a 50 grain outsert and a 100 grain point. I'm just getting a tougher arrow. I do really like these. I'm not a hater, you know, when it comes to these Easton Axises. I believe that this is such a solid arrow. It's almost like the safe haven. You know, you can't go wrong buying a dozen Easton Axis, definitely for a hunting arrow. When it comes to shooting 3D, I personally found that this carbon is just, whatever reason, it goes into the target and it almost melts itself into the target. So these are like the hardest arrows to pull out of 3D targets. And that's just my opinion. I've seen it with my friends. I've done this, you know, I've done this multiple years now, watching people shoot this arrow. I shot this arrow for a long time. I'm a big believer in it. I know the damage can be done. I think this is a great arrow. Easton does a great job. Price-wise, these all come in at different ranges. Your Rip TKO with the braided carbon, that's going to come in your most expensive arrow at $209 is the cheapest you could find this arrow. The cheapest that I could find this arrow that's brand new. And I'll tell you, I'm not going to skimp on these, especially the better you get, the more, you know, the more arrows you shoot. You want a really good arrow, good flying arrow. I've never had an issue with the Rip TKOs besides inserts. If you try to put in the inserts that do not come with the arrows, I've found issues with them coming out for whatever reason. I don't know why, but if you run the outsert that they give you, I've never had a problem with these things coming off. So that's your most expensive arrow. Next most expensive arrow on the list is the Rip Extreme Velocity. If you're somebody that wants to go hunting and somebody that wants to get a lot of distance out of your bow, build a lightweight but heavy hitting arrow, this is the arrow for you. Rip Extreme Velocity. They come at $170 for a pack of 12, brand new. I couldn't find them anywhere else. That's bare shafts. And then, you know, last on the list, if you just want an all-around solid arrow, this Easton Axis 5mm is definitely an arrow that you can't lose on. I wouldn't tell you that it's my favorite arrow after trying different arrows, but that's my lineup. Best hybrid hunting arrow with 3D shoots is going to be the Rip Extreme Velocity. Micro diameter, super sturdy, super strong. Throw an outsert on the end of this thing if you're going to be a hunter, if you're going to want to hunt with this arrow. And I think that you're going to find that you're going to have just a great all-around arrow. I'm actually changing my whole entire setup to this arrow due to the nature of it being lightweight, heavy in the front, and just shooting so great. And I get such amazing distance with this thing. I'm just starting to really believe that this is the best arrow out there. Rip TKO has done me well. I've shot multiple animals with this, and the Easton Axis is a great arrow as well. I will be changing all my fletchings. I'm going back to stock Blazer fletchings. I haven't seen any problems running the stock fletchings over my hand-fletched arrows. Besides the fact I do like taking the time to fletch them out with the Blitzenberger and the Mini-Max. Putting a left helo claw on them is nice. It makes it look nicer, but it doesn't make a big difference for me in the actual performance. So with that, you guys, I am out. I hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe. Leave your comments below. And we will be coming to you again with another great video next week. Adios.